So this is the Hirebotics Cobot welder. Ships as a complete, fully turnkey solution. We use an arm from Universal. It's the 10 E-Series robot. We use a table from Siegmund. We use Miller welding equipment, and we use a Trigascus torch. What really makes this unit special is how we program parts and how we save you a lot of time programming new parts. So let's go ahead and program a part. What makes ours unique is that we actually do this all on a cell phone. So unlike a traditional robot where you're programming on a teach pendant and you need to know the software that comes on those, we're actually going to do this all off of a phone or a tablet or a web browser on a computer. So let's create a new part. I'm just going to hit this plus button here in my app. I'll call it demo. I'm going to select my weld settings. And now it's time to teach a part. So first thing I do is I tell it what kind of weld I want to do. Is it a linear weld, a radial weld, a tack weld, a stitch weld, or a rotary? We'll set it to a linear. And then I'm actually going to teach this by hand. So I'm going to put the phone down. And then utilizing these two buttons, we're actually going to tell the robot where to go. So this top button, when I hold it down, it allows me to move the robot around freely. And this bottom button saves off a point into the app. So let's go ahead and program this part here. I'm going to get it into position. And as I click the blue button, you're going to see in the app, it's going to populate a point. So that's my first weld point. And then I'm going to move it to my next weld point. And I'm going to click the blue button again. And you'll see it just create another point. And so that's the end of my linear weld. I want to come around the turn. So in the app, I now just tell it that I'm going to do a radial weld. So radial weld's highlighted now. And so now we're going to point and click a few points around the circle. So I'll do 1, 2, and 3. So I'll stop there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to load it to run next. And you can see this is the program we created in about a minute or so. And so when I hit play on my button box here, it's going to run through that program that we just taught. So we developed this for welders, not for robot programmers. You don't need to have any robotics experience to use something like this. It's on a device that people are comfortable with, a phone or a tablet, instead of a clunky teach pendant. And we find that most welders, after 20-30 minutes of playing around with it, figure out how to use it. So we're taking the welders that you do have, because we know it's hard to find more welders, and we're turning those folks into robot programmers.